Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town. Which way to the beach, my friends? Show me to the beach. Time to get our glasses on, get the towels ready, because the summer is here. Welcome one, welcome all. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your flagship Sunday podcast. One of three shows today on the platform. We've got this one. We've got Talking Cricket, where we look at Ben Stokes being named England captain. And then, of course, we have our anniversary special with Romeo Zondervan and Craig Forrest, the 91-92 champions. That is tonight live at 8:30. So certainly, no, 9:30. 9. It's tonight. I do know, because I'm going to be sat in this chair very here. Well, the plan actually is to sit in this chair all afternoon and just not move. So I'm going to be here regardless. But I'm looking forward to it all the same. So today we're going to go for about, I don't know, we'll try and aim for half an hour, but we put limits on shows and then we just blow the doors off them and we are live for a while. So we'll do as often as we can. We're live again tomorrow night as well to keep digesting what the club hopefully will be putting out in terms of player retention, etc. Let's get a few comments. We've got Hawks in the room. Welcome in. Gavin Law, Colin, Mike. Nick Muller said Ipswich 4, Charlton 2, but it ended Ipswich 4, Charlton 0. He was almost right. Jason Clayton, Gavin Law. Very busy chat for a Sunday after the last game of the season. Excuse me, Mark Rattle. Thanks to all the guys for their work putting over the season on TT. Hopefully things will be just as interesting over the next few weeks. It certainly will be. On a personal note, I would just like to take this opportunity to say a huge thank you for all of your support and your help and for watching us over the course of the last season. I couldn't believe yesterday was our last match day ticket of the season after putting so much thought over last summer into how we're going to present the shows at a ground, because obviously we hadn't done that before. I couldn't believe yesterday was the last one. The season just sort of flew by in the end, and I'm looking forward to next year putting together another match day ticket at the grounds. And I did say grounds, and just seeing how we can progress the platform from here. A huge thank you to all the contributors as well, whether you've held a camera, held an iPad, or just watched us at the Sir Al statue. On a personal level, thank you. Right, let's bring in my co-host today. Here's the Crusher. Welcome in, my man. How you doing?
Big shout out, firstly, to Neil Perks, who passed his driving test.
Hey, congratulations, Mr. Perks.
Well done,
Welcome
Neil.
To the never-ending money pit known as car ownership.
Well, yeah, there is. Yeah, maybe it's not a good idea. Super Sunday. Where's Matt Phillips? Where is he today? I've not heard from him.
I don't know.
Still grumpy?
He's been grumpy for the last several days, but again, last night he was again having
grumpy.
A whinge, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Just whinge. Right, let's have a look at our the last time we look at this league table for this week. I can't say that. I can't promise that. But yes, there it is, my friends. 46 games, 70 points, 11th position, 18 wins, 16 draws, 12 defeats, 67 goals, 46 against, goal difference of 21. Ended in style, 4-0.
If you look at that table there, Martin, and what we need to do next season. See, we've won 18.
Yeah.
And you look at Rotherham.
27 their games they've won. 27 for Wigan.
Where are they? 27 as well?
Yep, 27.
27, like MK 26. So this is where we need to be aiming. We need to be beating all these teams that got promoted that we didn't get a single victory against this season. There's lots of things to work on.
There's 8 games you need to turn from either a defeat or a draw into a win.
Yeah.
Either way, you've got to do that. And as you say, must do better, as your name suggests. 11th makes Josh Russell feel sick. Doesn't make me feel a lot better. I didn't stay for the clap around the pitch because I wasn't sure if they're clapping us or we clapping them, because I'm certainly not clapping 11th position.
No, I think it's just a lap of appreciation, as they say.
I'd appreciate them when they win the title. That's what I appreciate.
Well, that's what they've been saying. They were saying yesterday, the supporters do after the game, But like Kieran said, we're aiming to win the league, but there'll probably be 8 or 9 other teams. Martin's saying the same thing. Proof will be in the pudding. A lot of talk. We've heard a lot of talk over the years what we're going to do, and we never...
A lot of excuses.
A lot of excuses. We never seem to do it on the pitch. So hopefully this time next year, we're sitting here and we are a lot happier where we are.
I think we will be. I think the arrow is certainly pointing upwards and the foundations are being laid. And the football yesterday, for example, was really, really good. Charlton could be criticisable.
They were absolutely awful, weren't they?
Maybe
let's not be around the bush. They had that out. They had I think they're centre half. I see him playing in they're called sliders nowadays. I call them flip flops. As Wesburn skated by him, Johnny Jackson didn't look very happy. I watched his interview this morning, Martin. He said that was their game plan, to press Ipswich high. And I'm thinking, have you not watched Town? Have you not watched Wesburn's? He loves space in behind. Second goal. Played into it. When we play teams like that who come and play football, press us high, Martin, we've got no problem beating teams like that. Yep, it's when your Cheltenhams, your Cambridges, Portsmouth, they all come and sit in. We've said it before. This is what we need to be working on over the summer. How do we beat them sort of teams? Well, if you stick one in the top corner after about 5 minutes, it probably does help, doesn't it?
Great goal by Tyreek.
Excellent goal.
Really good goal. Side-footed into the top corner. The Charlton goalkeeper was making his first league start. It looked like his first start in football at any level, particularly when he appeared to be the invisible man for James Norwood's goal. It just went through him.
You were on a good angle there. Is the ball, I think it's hit his arm, hasn't it?
Yes.
But
I don't know. Because even from our angle, it appeared like...
He should never score from there.
It was almost a computer goal, because... where the tech is glitched, because there's no way he should score, but he does.
Not really.
It's a good finish. It's a nice way to end the chapter, the story, whatever story you may think of what Norwood's been here, be it fairy tale or otherwise. It's a nice way to end for him.
I don't agree with Graham's take there. I've seen this a lot on social media. It's a big mistake letting James Norwood go. The time is right on all parts, Martin, for him to go. I think for us to move on as a football club now, I think. He's been here, 3 years? Good goal record, fair enough. But overall, it's been a failure. It has been a failure. You can't get away from the facts that he came as our marquee signing and he's only started 57 games in 3 seasons. You look, 4 different circumstances. We know that because we had him on here. But I think
when you play 46 games in a season for the last 3 years, 57.
Yeah, I think for all parties, it's best he goes. Look, and he could come back to bite us, but that is football, and we need better players.
Yeah, yeah. I can't. Yeah, I can't add anything onto that. I agree with you. Your 11th position. Nobody is a mistake, I believe, in being let go or should be a nailed on first team player. Everything should be looked at in the light of finishing 11th. And as Ben Moore says in the chat, somewhere off the top 6 all season, we haven't hit the top 6 at all this year.
We haven't hit the top 6 in 3 years, Ben.
There you go. There you go.
It's not just one season of failure. This is 3 years. This is a 4-year League One tour now, Martin, that we're on. It
is. Regardless of the position, we need to get us into the top 2 than others, says Stephen Parry. That's an interesting
Nothing's easy in this league. I don't agree with that.
I wonder why Stephen thinks it'll be easier for us than others. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, Stephen. Just to elaborate a bit more, put some meat on that bone. Dominic, for those sort of teams, we need to work on set pieces more. Agree. Agree. Stephen Parry bringing in Big T was great. Good goal and over 80% pass completion. Gavin
He
Lord.
started actually quite poorly yesterday, Martin. He gave the ball away a couple of times, and then he goes and does that.
He didn't. Did make me laugh. Most players brought on their kids. Norwood brought on 4 of his mates. I didn't stay for the walk around, did he?
Well, there you go. He got 4 of them out of a box in the cobbled in the corner. But look, I'm not going to go into what I think as James Norwood as a character off the pitch and all that. I've said it. I've said it to death, and we move on now. We need to look forward, not back.
We do need to look forward and not back. Daniel Hill, welcome in, Daniel. Afternoon, chaps. Great feel-good win to end the season. Hope Richard to snooker on another screen there.
Well, I will have it on, but we're not doing that long today, Dan. So I think I should be ready for the start.
That's why we're not doing too long. You see, he wants to sneak off.
You don't want to watch the snooker, do you?
Do I heck?
There you go.
No. Norman, we were top 6 if the season had started under McKenna, correct? Since January, we have been.
Keep saying that. You finished, Norman, over 46 games where you deserve, and we've deserved to finish 11th, Martin. I think under the points, Kieran's got what, 41 points? Was it from 23 games?
I think it was something like that. Yeah.
No, 82 points. That would have just got you into the playoffs, because look at Plymouth. Poor Plymouth, who've been in there all season. 80 points, Martin, and they finished in 7th. But that's football.
They got hammered.
5-0 at home. They did have 10 men.
Yeah,
but my man Scott Twine, he's on to 20 goals this season. He was unplayable yesterday. I watched the highlights of the goals this morning. Incredible.
That's something else I've seen this over the last 24 hours. People saying we need to get Scott Twine here. I think they need a little bit of a reality check.
If they'd been watching this platform 12 months ago and they'd just seen my shopping list, he was at the top.
Glorified set piece taker.
So someone said, I won't divulge who actually said that, and we could have signed him for 150 grand. But there you go, Martin. That ship has sailed. Now he's probably going to be worth what, 3 million, I think.
Oh, that's the $1 million question, really, because obviously
when you look at the prices of midfielders over the years, Dele Alli went for 5 million from MK to Spurs. I think James Maddison, when he went to Norwich, went for about 2.5 million from Coventry, Martin. So I'd say 3, maybe a little bit more with add-ons for Twine. But anyone thinks that he's coming through the doors at Portman Road, I think you need to go and give your head a good wobble, as they say, because it won't be
linked with West Ham for like 7 million, says Josh.
Well, yeah, maybe in the Premier League. I'm not sure if he's at that level yet.
No, but if you're a West Ham, maybe not a West Ham now, because they are the European semi-finalists. But if you're a team in the Premier League, like a Burnley or a Brighton or a Newcastle, that's not a Newcastle now with the money, but somebody who's in the Premier League, you would maybe go and spend the money on Scott Twine and then instantly loan him out to a Championship club for the year, because you've got the money that you can bring this young talent through,
possibly, yeah,
and see what he develops into. Because at worst, you sell him probably for what you bought him for by the time you come to sell him, because of inflation and the way football prices seem to go up astronomical. At best, you have a player in 18 months to 2 years' time that is ready to be that big.
Oh, my lads, just send me a picture. So Archie's at Spurs today, mate. They've got a school trip all paid for to one of the best stadiums in definitely, and they're sitting like 2 rows from the front beyond the goal. What a fucking day he's going to have. Brilliant.
Beautiful. Yeah, he's finally going to see some real football in a real stadium.
Well, there you go.
Liazzi, who's got 3 million at the moment? I've not checked on the back of my sofa, Lee, but it probably won't be there. Trevor, Scott, I wouldn't be asking for co-fis if it was. Scott Twine will skip the Championship straight to the Premier League. Robert Grimsey, he was superb, but still think Wednesday will win playoffs. Robert, please don't say that.
That's going to be tasty.
Although that semi with Sunderland.
The one thing, Martin, that nobody's talking about is Wycombe Wanderers. No one's talking about them.
It'll be a Wycombe Sunderland final.
Yeah, and they might come along and spoil the party.
Wouldn't be a bad thing. Although I'd rather Sunderland go up for the fact that they're one of the furthest away days.
Well, it don't matter to you, does it?
Well, if I might be doing some next year, if I do some, I want it to be a bit more local than bloody the northeast way, man. I don't fancy that trip if I have to go up there. I really don't.
But they're all in. They've deserved to be in, and we've deserved to finish 11th. That is at the end of the day. We can't get away from them facts.
We're the kings of excuses at Portman Road. I mean, have been for the last 3 years, if not longer. I mean, the big one people keep flashing about is the number of players we brought in. Wigan brought in 18 players. Yeah. There is no excuse other than an excuse. We weren't good enough from start to finish, from minute 1 to minute 0.
I've got something for you. Just let me find it.
Crumbs. Okay.
I see it this morning. Mark Dowling.
Mark Wall, next season, we must not fall into thinking the title or playoffs is definitely going to happen. We must turn up every game and fight for results.
So how many players, Martin, were in the 11 that started yesterday on the first day of the season against Morecambe?
Oh, okie dokie. Well, let me go to the BBC write-up. Let me go to the lineup. Well, Walton wasn't. Donatian came on as the sub for the first game of the year.
Yeah, but I'm saying who started.
Yeah, Wolfenden wasn't. Baggett wasn't.
No,
Burns.
Wolfenden played.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, Wolfie was playing.
Burns. So West 2.
Yeah.
Penny is 3.
Yeah.
Penny is 3.
Yeah.
Bon is.
One more.
Bon came on. Did Bon come on as a sub? He did come on as a sub.
Bon came on and scored. Norwood come on.
Chaplin.
Yeah, that's it.
So 4.
4 players.
Yeah. Says about right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised at that.
I know your team changes over the season, but I think when you signed the amount of players we have, and there's a lot like Scott Fraser come, didn't he, with a big rap. I remember us doing a transfer show with him, and we were looking at his stats and thinking, yeah, this is what a great player he is in this division, for MK. And then he comes and they play him on the left of midfield, and you think something was just, I don't know, not right.
I would have been intrigued to have seen Scott Fraser under Kieran McKenna.
I think he could have really shone under him, Martin, because I thought he was a really good technical footballer. I know people say he wasn't the quickest, but I don't think you need to. Like, look at Teddy Sheringham when he played. It's up here, the first 2 yards in his head. And I think with him, but look, we'll never know. He went and look, fair play to him.
Roberts at least Gunn was ready. Yeah, the thing is, I was talking about this last night on WhatsApp group, because that's what depressed me. Norwich are relegated, brilliant, but they're still a league above us. Like, that's pony.
That'd be interesting to see how they get on next year. I know, look, we're worried about how we get on. I think Norwich won't find it as easy as they have in seasons gone by, Mike, because I think they're going down. I don't think they're as good a side as when they've gone down before. I don't think there's many assets this year to sell. No,
compared to previous years.
Well, you've got, what's the fullback? Max Aaron's probably that they could cash in on him.
I don't think he's had a good a year as he had the year before, where they could have sold him for bigger money.
Yeah, probably should have sold it. I think Barcelona were after him, weren't they?
They were, yeah.
They went up 2 years ago when they went up, but
because they already sold Ben Godfrey. He was probably one of their biggest up and coming.
When Deere went,
when Deere's already gone.
Is Camwell on loan at Bournemouth, or have they signed him?
They've just given him a new contract to Todd Cantwell. They've just given him a new deal.
Norwich.
Yep.
Well, he's not exactly set the world alight down there.
They're going to have to dig into their parachute payment if they're going to want it, or go again for a year, and it could fall flat. Who knows? Andrew Laws, thanks for Talking Town. Platform was watched from the start, all part of my match day experience, and something to look forward to in the COVID lockdown. Thanks from a Talking Town best wish. Thank you very much, Andrew. Stick with us. COVID hopefully is peeing off, but we certainly are not. Stick with us, Andrew. Jason Clay, Wigan brought in Division 1 League pros who had been released but know how to play in Division 1.
I was talking to Callie earlier about that. When you look through our lineup, there's not many in there, Martin, who've had a promotion on their CV, who knows what it takes to get out of a division. Yeah,
that just sounds like another excuse to me.
I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying, like that comment you put up there on the screen. Wigan bought in. I don't know. Look, you got James McLean went there. The season's pro. He'd been there before. These people have been around the leagues. They know what it takes. But it is. I do agree. We are just probably looking for excuses, and there isn't any, is there really?
No, and there isn't. And I don't think the players will. I think the players know that themselves. I think we've already seen a Sam Morsey tweet. They're going to work twice as hard next year. That's the sort of thing which you want to be hearing. Back to Mark Wall, his comment. Next season, we must not fall into the trap of thinking the title or playoffs is definitely going to happen. We must turn up for every game and fight for results.
Yeah.
I take that comment and I separate it. As a fan, I expect playoffs. As a player, you would hope they're going to turn up to every single game and fight and scrap for every single point and not have that mentality. A fan and a player can have two separate mentalities. They must have separate mentalities. But as fans, we must keep a perspective of we are Ipswich Town Football Club. We are a big team. We shouldn't be England's third tier. It is a disaster not to make the playoffs, and is an expectation next year for at least a playoff. At least, even that is going to be a disappointment for me if the transfer rumours, which we've heard,
look, a lot of it
are true.
A lot of it depends who we bring in the summer. I said yesterday, Martin, I think to Colin on the full-time show, if you said to me now, not knowing who we signed, if you said to me now there's a guaranteed playoff place next season, I would snap your hand off, because you have to look at where we are now, and we haven't even touched the playoffs. I'm not saying that I don't want first or second, because we all want to win the league. You know, we all want to be on the pitch at the end, like there was teams yesterday, you know, invading the pitch, and we want to do that. But it's going to take a lot of bloody hard work, both off the pitch and on the pitch. And they're lucky they've got the support behind them, because we've done our bit, Martin, and we've done it not just this season, the last few seasons. You know, we've stuck behind them and followed them in great numbers. I think yesterday that crowd took it up to over 500,000 who we've had through the gates at Portman Road this season. You know, the backing from the fans has been nothing short of fantastic. But there does come a time when the players have to deliver on the pitch and give something back to them fans who've been loyal, who've stuck by them, who've spent a lot of money. You know, look, all know the times that we live in at the minute, and it's not cheap. But they keep coming, they keep travelling. So let's hope next season that we are sitting here and we are happier.
100 points, 100 goals. I said that the moment the full-time whistle went, I went, right, 100 points, 100 goals. See you next year. 100 points, 100 goals incoming. Believe it. If you say it and you believe it, you will achieve it. Stephen Parry, I would say the mentality when winning was better. We would play. I think if you kept the same squad under McKenna, you'd make the playoffs. Like just if you kept the collective current group of players together.
Still think I need a striker.
I think you got enough under McKenna to finish at least 6th, and that's with the current squad. I think if he brings in the players he needs to fit the system that are going to be hopefully better than what we've got, I don't see any reason other than an absolute meltdown of classic Town proportions that you wouldn't be a playoff side. I just, you know, I mean, this year is an absolute freak, once in a generation in terms of points return. I mean, you know, Plymouth.
But when we done the preview show, we all predicted them second, first, going up. I think I just finished in 3rd. So we expect a lot, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we expect too much sometimes?
Well, I spoke to Baz, our friend from the Wigan podcast, and he just asked, all we do next year is to smash Bolton home and away. That's all he needs us to do next year.
I think I was talking to Colin, was it this morning? That they're my dark horses next season.
What, Bolton?
Bolton Wanderers. I think they've had a really good season this season. They ended 9th. I think they had something like 30 odd points, 36 points after 24 games, Martin. They've had a really good end to the season. He does talk them up, though, that Ian Everett. He does talk a lot of bollocks.
He talks a lot of bollocks. You'd be proud of me. I reached out to our friend, Gills in the Blood. I offered my condolences.
What, did you send laughing emojis, crying?
No. I said I'm terribly sorry to see you.
Have you seen the Neil Harris interview?
I have. Oh, it's gold.
It's an absolute classic when they said, you got 7 players in contract. Yeah, they'll all be leaving.
They will be leaving.
Not good enough.
Players out of contract. Some I want to keep. Majority I don't want to keep. Yeah.
I know you're happy they're out of the league. Someone had to go down.
Well, not out of the league. Not yet. Fingers crossed that could happen.
Not yet.
No,
he done a good job there, Neil Harris, with what he had. You know, when he came in,
he had a great job.
Just says the standards there are all fuck it. There you go, Lewis, Neil Harris, Demolition Man, 2022.
If I was caught between a rock and a hard place, because in an ideal world, Fleetwood and Gillingham would have disappeared into the relegation zone, and AFC Wimbledon would have stayed up, because I like AFC Wimbledon.
Callie's celebrating because Toto's still in League One.
You know, I was looking. But I was looking at the league table. We've got Exeter coming up next year. They're being miles away. AFC Wimbledon, they were closer. They've gone down.
Gillingham.
Fleetwood miles away. Yeah, Gillingham. I don't care how close they get. They could be on the doorstep. They've got a stand that shouldn't even be allowed to be in use still as a temporary. Nothing's temporary for 21 years.
Temporary stand since the early 2000s.
It's temporary, but since that was erected as a temporary stand, I've had a brother be born, and now he's had a daughter. How could it be temporary? We've got another generation of Lamberts appearing.
A massive erection in Gillingham.
Norman Greenwald. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. It was clear Paul Cook was a little kid in the sweet shop who had a great weekend yesterday, by the way, Paul Cook. And sadly, his rigid system.
Oh, don't worry. I've heard all about it from Hawks because he knows
found out
he's
by the
good mates with Lochi. He's been filling me in. It sounds like an absolute car crash down at Chesterfield, Martin. And I'm thinking, fucking hell. It was a car crash at town, wasn't it? And it's funny, like, Paul Lambert didn't have Ian Culverhouse. Paul Cook didn't have Liam Richardson. And look what happened.
Good afternoon, Mr. Alvey. We are seeing your messages. Yes, get your ITFC thoughts in, my friend. Said the management was shit. Did even have a tactics board. Oh, you mean at Gillingham? Well, it was. Look at the previous manager was. Cali Bisler. They have a young striker called Hayes. Very good. Maybe buy and loan back to develop for the future. Definitely. But to be honest, Gavin, they've done really well. And yesterday they had 4 full-team players out. I'm not quite sure who that is. Oh, Northampton, I think.
Yeah, Neil Perks is happy because he's down that way, and he's got Exeter and he's got Plymouth.
Lewis, Cali did the dirty on Toto by going for dinner with Sam Morsey.
Cali, what was it? No, Lewis got his shirt signed by Matt Penny yesterday, right? Really nice guy.
Oh, that is
really nice guy. So I said to Matt, he was betting on you today. Then Colin says, "Yeah, you owe him $7,000." And I had a chat with Lee Evans as well, Martin.
Did you ask why you were blocked?
I asked, why have you blocked me, Lee? And he said, probably because you're chatting shit.
Did he actually say that?
He said that and he laughed.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Have you looked again since to see if he's unblocked you?
No.
Are you going to look to see if he's unblocked you at any point?
No, because I'm probably still blocked.
Do you lose sleep at night because you're blocked?
No. But I did say to him that we missed you since he hasn't been playing, and I think we have.
Look at you building bridges. Oh.
Well, there you go.
Just I woke up this morning and I thought, right, what's he going to do this summer to cause an outrage? Because now there's no football. Twitter's going to be losing its mind for 12 weeks. So what is Rich going to do?
I'll just drop in some little. Well, the best one was last season when me and Hawks, I don't know, we were on one of them groups. He said, "Put that little fishing rod about Tom Lawrence," and I stuck it out one. I think it was one Monday night, and it was absolutely hilarious. People, what? Tom Lawrence is coming to town?
Yeah. But wait, Bersat Selena turned up.
Really?
Nikki asked why was Pigott or Selena at the Player Awards?
I think Joe had gone back to London. I don't know why Burson wasn't there. I know he hadn't been very well. That was why he wasn't at the dinner on Tuesday. I'm not sure.
Oh. Crunchy the podcaster who needs to build bridges, says Stephen Parry.
Well, we can build them and then smash them down about 3 months later.
That's it. Build them, then burn them to the ground, as Seth Rollins would say. Burn it down. Talking of Matt Penny, how do you think he did yesterday? Would you keep him around the squad for next year, or would you look to get rid?
See, I think yesterday was it was an easy game for a lot of players, wasn't it? You know, the sun's out, the sun's shining. There's no pressure, Martin, on that game.
No, yeah.
Like you said about Backinson. Backinson's had a few pops from long range, but there's no pressure. It was a great goal he scored. I thought Penny was decent. I thought all of them yesterday had a good game. I thought really they were probably lucky Charlton. It was only 4-0 because I thought they were pretty woeful. But then saying that, Christian Walton's done a great save first half at the North Stand end. Stockley's missed an absolute sitter with a header where he's hit the bar. I don't know how he's hit the bar and not scored.
Yeah.
But I thought, it was. It's easy to get carried away, isn't it? The sun's shining, we win 4-0. There's 26,000 in the ground. Everyone's happy. But then the final whistle blows, and then you look at that league table. You look at all these other games. Like I said yesterday, around the country, Martin, they've got something riding on it, and it's 11th versus 12th.
Yeah. Yeah. And
we don't want that next season. We don't want to be playing dead rubbers towards the end of the season. I was speaking to Mike. You know, is it Mike Turbot? You know, who takes the pictures?
Yeah, I saw Mike yesterday. Yeah,
really nice guy, and I'll probably agree with him. He said probably the goal at Oxford, that 95th minute, that was the one that killed us because
that's interesting.
We had a little bit of momentum behind us then, and if we'd have won, look, it is if buts and maybes. I still think what we finished. How many points away from the playoffs? We 13, were we?
Yeah, playoffs were 83. We were 70. So yeah.
Yeah, so there is games. But we just haven't been good enough, have we? We just haven't been good enough when push comes to shove. Under McKenna, it's been decent up to a point. But hopefully next season, like we say, it has to be better. No free rides next season. They've had a little bit of a free ride, Ashton, because the mess that the club was in, Martin, you know, under the previous owner. So we've sort of eaten up everything that Mark Ashton said, haven't we? We're like that nodding dog.
Well, because it's been so bad for so long, it was just a breath of fresh air. But I wouldn't say as far as their sort of next 12 months to save their jobs, as I've seen.
I'm not saying that. But
they have to be better. You're absolutely right. I mean, after the years of Milne, Simmons, O'Neill, Evans, Lambert, Hurst, McCarthy, everything has been. Even the way Paul Cook spoke was what clouded people's opinions of how badly we ended last season and then started this year, because it was refreshingly new to hear a manager speak like that. Walton's save, I thought he made that a bit harder than it needed to be.
I thought he looked like he was sort of his weight
not
was on
moving
his
feet quick enough,
and then
he got stuck in the mud. I mean, in the end, it was a good save. It was almost one of those camera saves.
It was quite funny yesterday. They all got I think it was a tankard, Martin, for their debuts. So they're going through the games they made their debut at.
Oh dear.
Christian Walton made his debut at home to Bolton, and then there was a little sort of laughter from the audience, thinking, and he said, "Yeah, that probably wasn't the best debut."
Well,
5-2.
Wasn't Fridges also that day? It was.
Did he? No, or did he played in another game?
No, I think it was both their debuts.
I had a little chat with him. He was. I said that I heard you were very good on co-coms. And he's like, no, he's quite good, isn't he, Fridge? Because he obviously does the coffee club, and he was a bit sort of low key. I said, come on, go big yourself up. And I said to Marcus, who was there, Marcus Nash, I heard it was a lot better than Radio Suffolk's commentary. So I can't comment on that, Rich. I cannot comment. But that is the way we're going, isn't it? Town TV. I see a few mixed sort of comments on it, Martin, on the socials. Some people liked it. Others were like, where's Brenner? Where's Mick? But we just need to move with the times. This is what we're going to do. I
think you could, well, it'd be interesting to see what the football club, which direction they go in. For yesterday, it was fine, but I would not rather a first team player do co-coms, because and I know it's going to be a bit of a state propaganda channel anyway, because it's going to be club owned, club engineered. But I like what Mick Mills brings, or a other ex-pro, because when they speak, you feel like they can speak from the heart on the truth. Like yesterday, for example, if Danastian, let's say he makes a real big balls up, he's not really going to call him out, is he? And say a huge mistake by. Do you know what I mean? Because it's his teammate. You wouldn't, you have to go back in the dressing room on Monday morning and say, "Bug you out on TV." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd rather it was an ex-pro. Which of course would make.
We've got enough. We've got enough around the club who could do it.
We have. Lewis thought Baggett was really good yesterday, but a couple of lapses yesterday. Washington hitting over the. I think Baggett is ready. He's ready to be that off the bench option. I would sell Burgess.
But I did think that. I think Ndaba ahead of him in his development, because he's had a year playing league football. And like Elkan Baggett, I thought, look, he looks a very good player, Martin, but he's played in 2-0 games where there's not a lot of pressure on him. There's not a lot of pressure on that game yesterday. I know
his own pressure.
Yeah, his own pressure. But there's not.
He's dealt with two physical League One strikers very well.
But we said they were on the beach.
Rotherham weren't.
No, and I thought he was okay that day, but I think sometimes
more than okay. He made him.
We do over egg some of our academy products. We do. He needs, for me, go and play like Wolfenden did, like Corey's done at Salford. Go and have a year. And Cameron Humphreys, talented player there. He won Academy Player of the Year yesterday. So go and play proper league football. Get kicked about. Get elbowed, Martin. That's what they need to do to learn. Too comfortable sometimes. They're just coming through the academy straight in the first team, unless they're like outstanding. But I'm not saying Mick Mills. He liked what he saw, and it was interesting. I was listening to that this morning. It was like the phone in from yesterday. And they were talking about the partnership, Martin, down the right-hand side with Danastian and Wes. And then Mick Mills come out of a statement. And I have said this before, that I think he looks a bit doesn't look a natural out there. George Edmondson playing that left-hand side of that back three. Because he said JD's got the ability to go outside and come inside where he plays. Whereas he said, this is Mick Mills' words are, he doesn't think Fridge can play that position. And he doesn't think he's got the fitness for it, which I thought was really interesting. He would go and sign. Mick Mill said he would go and sign a left-sided centre half who can play that get forward.
You see, I would give it to Ndaba, and I would put Edmondson at the right side of the back three.
He don't think he can. He thinks that Edmondson's only can play in the centre where Wolfie plays.
Well,
that was Mick.
In that case, couldn't Wolfie play that right side of the three?
He could do. Yeah, he could.
He's a more order, as they say.
Should have scored. Just the second half. I said to him,
done, you're right.
Hit it. Just hit the ball. Should have fucking smashed it.
You should have done. What a real privileged position to be in, though, where you literally have JD, Wolf, Edmondson, Burgess, and Ndaba, who's done well. You can see him tomorrow for Salford on the TV. Baggett. That's 6 defenders for 3 positions, which is bang on the money in terms of how many you need for that 3. It's a real privileged position to be in.
It's all changed, I think, when Sheffield United used to play the overlapping centre-backs, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think now.
Yeah. JD's done really well.
Do we need to play a back 3, Martin, all the time against some of these teams?
But that's what JD brings to the party, isn't it? He brings that flexibility in the game where you can go to a 4 at any point because he can play the right side of a 4 and play it really well. The thing is, people will get upset with me today, and as Neil did last night when I spoke to him about this, and say, you can't leave JD out. We finished 11th in League One. There's not a single player, even Christian Walton, if you can find a better goalkeeper, which I don't think you can, that is guaranteed or should be at this point after finishing 11th, is in the conversation of guaranteed starter. Don't have to look at that position.
It is a little bit of a strange one when you think individually we've had a lot. They said they'd had over 10,000 votes, Martin, for Player of the Year, which is they don't normally get that. So we've had a lot of good players have good individual seasons, right? But it's putting it all together as a team, isn't it?
Except Wes Burns. That he's guaranteed because he's outstanding, And
I think the way that them two play together, they complement each other, and that helps. Probably he was on loan at Fleetwood, wasn't he?
He was,
JD. So he's played with Wes there. They've got that really good relationship on the pitch. You can see it when they do the handshake. Yeah. I just think Donatian.
It's funny because Neil said that.
I wrote him off. I will be honest. I wrote him off and thought his time at the club was finished. The previous managers probably didn't rate him, thought he was going to leave. But he's come back and I think he's played 48 games, Martin, this season.
Yeah, he's been, and this year he's been,
but still,
a breath of fresh air. Tremendous.
But still, my highlight of JD's season was the game against, I think it was MK when he forgot his shirt when he was coming on. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Look, in the summer, I said JD was not finished. If you remember, I was the main one calling for JD not to be chucked in the bin. He's got we paid money for him. He's got an opportunity to be, I did say, off the bench to work his way back into the team. And he did that. And he's been outstanding this year. He
played 31 games in the 3 seasons previous, Mike.
And him and Burns, as Neil said, as you've just said there as well, they've got a great understanding. But then I think Wes Burns is so good, you could play him next to anybody. I mean, he did Mark McGuinness, and then Mark McGuinness ended up playing in the Championship. Like,
True.
He's
the only thing with Wes, the only thing is Wes, and Kieran said it. So he's had this great season now, right? He's got to build on it next season because he'll be a marked man. These teams are not stupid, Martin. These coaches, they know what they're doing. They might double up on him. He's got to go and have another season like that. And if anything, be better next season. I think he can. I honestly think he can. And a lot of people, I think it was Maxi in the chat on Friday, said basically, if he couldn't run fast, he wouldn't be any good, And I think he's got more than just pace. I think if you're just saying...
He turned up yesterday,
Did he?
After we just finished. And he said, hello, I'm Maxi. I'm here to do the show. We just finished.
What, after the game or before?
Before the game.
But I think that's a bit of disrespect to Wes when you're saying he can just run fast. Well, Usain Bolt could run fast. He didn't make it as a footballer, did he?
Big game person.
What about him?
Max is a big game person fan. Just tell him all person's got as a step over.
He's a big game person fan. I thought he played all right yesterday, Selena. I thought he had a decent game.
All right.
But I thought it was an ideal game for him yesterday as well, Selena.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to keep hold of Wes Burns? Ask CJ Norris.
I don't think he'll be going anywhere, if I'm being honest. I think he likes it where he is. He's just moving into a house in the area.
Oh, nice.
And when you've come from Fleetwood, Martin, no disrespect to Fleetwood, and you've come to town, he must think he's just in a different world now. Fleetwood get what, 3,000-4,000 We're having 26,000 for meaningless games, and he'll want to be part of that next season. Now, look, I'm sure there will be clubs in the Championship looking at him. I don't doubt that, but
no, me neither.
We don't have to be selling people. We don't. We want to keep our best players to get out of this league. We don't want to go selling them, really, do we? I agree with you with Burgess. He would probably be the one if I was looking across that squad.
Fit the system.
Yeah. If I was looking across that squad thinking, right, we've got a lot of centre halves here, one might have to go. Maybe that's a bit unfair because I think he's done quite well when he came back in. But before that, he didn't cut the mustard for me.
Look, I think he's good. I think he's a solid defender, but he plays the centre of the three because the left and the right have to be your marauders. They have to get involved. I don't think Burgess can quite do that. This time last year, I'd have been upset about losing a player like Wolfenden or Edmondson. And this year, don't get me wrong, I would be upset to lose quality. You should always be upset to lose quality. But I don't think it's a huge of an issue if it came out tomorrow, for example, Palace make £4 million move for Wolfenden, because you've got JD who can slide across to the centre. You've got Burgess who could play that centre position. You've got Ndaba. You've got the Baggots. We're in a good position now where we can be really selective over how we construct the back three. But equally, if we lose one of the ball players, Edmondson and Wolfie, because they don't grow on trees, ball playing defenders, they are hard to come by, just like goal scorers are. We're okay.
I'm really interested to see what happens with Ndaba Martin when he's come back. His development. Does Kieran think he's going to be part of his team, or does he think, no, I've seen him, I've watched him play, like he's probably watched him live, he's probably watched him on a lot of videos. Maybe he thinks maybe he can't make it to town. But I just think that's a really interesting one where they go with him, because I think this is where Baggott, I think, is a good player, but I just think on his development, I think Corey's a little bit ahead of him. But it comes down to the manager, what he thinks. He might have seen enough in training. Baggott's been there. He's seen him every day at the training ground. He's played a couple of games, so he might really like what he sees. And I like what I see so far. He's massive. I stood next to him yesterday. Malcolm Baggott. He is huge. He is
huge. Yeah, he's really filled out over the last couple of years to the player that we first come onto the scene. Some players don't need loan spells though. Some players just overnight almost come in. I mean, look at the young players over the years that have been tremendous for us that haven't had the loan spells out. Some players are just ready when they're ready. And I didn't see a player over the last 2 appearances, albeit only 2, to think, whereas Humphreys, great ball for Norwood. And we're coming to Norwood now. We've got somebody who's going to join us just a second.
Is he ready?
He is. But you could see he probably needed 12 months at a level where he could play without pressure, without expectation, without certain words hanging over him, where fans didn't have preconceived ideas. It was just a young player on loan.
He's had a lot of talk, hasn't he, Cameron?
Awful lot of talk. Not by his own volition, but an awful lot of talk.
Yeah, Kieran obviously bigged him up. Look, and Kieran Dyer's, he's seen him every day. He's seen him every day for the last, 2 years at the football club, so he knows the ability that he's got. But, look, he came on yesterday, he was busy, Martin. He didn't get a lot of the ball. He's put that ball through for Norwood, and that makes him one more assist than Sonny Aluko, Colin, by the way. But I think for Cameron to go to probably a League Two team, play on a Saturday, play on a Tuesday, when it means something, Martin. You've got points on the line, people's jobs, you've got supporters, follow you up and down the country. That's what he needs. Because I don't think he'll be anywhere near our first team next season. Maybe in the cup games he might play a role, but I think 46 games in the league, he'd play a bit part off the bench. And for his development, it's all about going away. But he's getting the right loan club, isn't it? We've seen it with Dogwell. We've seen it with Dogwell.
Yeah, Ash Bell. Loan spells just as important for character development as they are professional. So Norwood's last game yesterday for Town, he ended up in style. Some people are sad to see Norwood go. Some are delighted. Some are waking up looking with the same expression as the Norwich City ownership yesterday had. That's a look, in it. That poor Delia.
Oh, my Lord.
But perhaps that's Hawks. How are you feeling this morning about the James Norwood Love Fest?
Here he is.
Fucking delighted, mate. Right. I've done a little bit of stat finding here for you because I saw the figure £3 million banded on Twitter this morning that it would cost to replace James Thomas Norwood. Okay. Let me just clear my voice. Let me just clear my voice for this one. Okay. James Thomas Norwood. Okay. 1920 season. Forgive me if some of these are wrong or one out or whatever. Okay. You're talking 11 goals and 2 assists. 2021, 9 goals, 3 assists. 21-22, 6 goals, 3 assists. Okay. So people are telling me it'll cost £3 million to replace that. Okay. He's had off-field problems. He's probably got more points on his driving license than he has played games. As Martin once said, you can have Messi in your squad, but if they're injured, there's no point of having them. Okay? Exactly that. The only person that's gained off him is Colin because he's got a Range Rover now. Right. And now I'm going to move on to Wesley James Burns, okay? Who is a right wing back who has been here for one season.
Here, Hobbs. You've been doing your research.
I've been doing my research. The Welsh Maldini. The Welsh Maldini. Here we go. In his first season, he has played 37 games, which is nearly 2 seasons combined for James Norwood. Okay.
True.
He's got 12 or 13 goals.
Yeah, 12 in the league.
12 in the league, 6 assists, and he's a shagger as well. Do you know what I mean? All right, I'm going to move on from that now. A lot of fans are happy out there, right? And I'm hearing this, that, and the other about we should be really positive. This time last year, we walloped fucking Fleetwood. We turned into prime Barcelona on the last day of the season once again, didn't we?
We did.
We got told that the players were getting told to run into adversity. We nearly ran into a relegation scrap on the first 5 games. Moving on from that, I do owe an apology to someone. Okay? I'll fully hold my hands up to Sam Morsey. I called him Cole Scouse with an armband. Okay? Although Cole Scouse got Colchester United's player of the player of the season.
Player of the year.
You know it's rough down there when that happens.
Well, you went to Exeter and see him, and you told me they were absolutely stinking the place out.
Fucking hell, mate.
But be fair, it's player's player. You know, so that's just like that's the popularity award. It's not actually based on any...
I made a mistake with Sam Morsey. I'll give him. He looked like one of the ones that really hurt professionally and personally. You were talking about players that have got a God-given right to start next season. I completely agree. There's not many. My point of view, I'd have Walton, Edmondson, Morsey, Burns. That's it. They're the only 4 that I could say that have got a right to knock on a manager's door if they're not in the team first game of the season and say, "Oi, what's going on here?" The rest of them, let's be honest, bang average. As I put in a tweet earlier, some of them will be on holiday this summer. They'll be sitting there with their fucking Coronas and all this lot. They'll be back for pre-season enjoying themselves. Do you know what I mean? They don't care, some of them. I'll be honest with you. 11th place in League One. Absolute dross. Absolute dross. Not having it at all. Not having it. Not one bit. Yeah, ran over.
Callie, we need Hawks to do exit interviews for each of the players that go in summer. Love this.
I'll do James Norwood all day.
So you're not a huge fan of Mr. Norwood then, James? Hawks.
Don't call me James. No. Mate, honestly, it's been a circus from moment one, innit? From his car outside the fucking ground, with his private plate on, to fucking his house getting, look, no one deserves to get their house getting robbed. But let's be honest, it could only happen to James Norwood, couldn't it? I don't want to sound, I'm going to sound really horrible here and people are going to cane me for it. But when he's posting pictures of where he lives and this, that, and the other, he's probably getting chauffeur driven to Wrexham right now to sign a deal with Paul Mullen, his mate. So, you know what I mean? Good riddance to fucking bad rubbish, mate. Because I want professional players that are going to bleed blue, who are going to come off that pitch giving everything. And if I'm honest with you, sometimes it's not even the rant of what he does on the pitch. It's the crap fucking coming off the pitch. Do you know what I mean? It's always something going on in his life. And that may be for some fans, but not for me, mate. Not at all.
Do you not subscribe to the methodology then that we're going to struggle to replace a player who comes off the bench like he did yesterday and scores with his first chance on goal?
Fuck me, mate. We'll certainly get him for cheaper than £3 million. Jesus.
£3 million. I've not seen that, Rich. But
All right.
do you think it'd be hard to replace Mr.
Well,
Norwood?
that was off the back of, I think it was Lee who earned it, Hawks. I think Lee Anderson was saying that we'll struggle to replace him. We'll have to spend money. Look, we all know my thoughts on him as well. He knows my thoughts on him. I don't need to go into it again, but it was best for all parties for him to leave, Martin. As a football club, we have to move forward. People do need to take their head out the clouds sometimes. We failed. If he's our main man for 3 seasons, we're still in this league, Jordan,
Yeah.
And he's got 11 goals.
We're not just not hit playoffs. We haven't even looked like yesterday. I stayed out. I've had COVID for a week. I watched the snooker, then I watched Rotherham yesterday. And look, just having that feeling, that's that. Do you know what? I don't even ask for playoffs next season. I just ask for that feeling where it's on the line. Do you know what I mean? It's all on the line. The fucking limbs in that Gillingham away end yesterday from the Rotherham fans, how that stand is still stood up, I do not know. Because they went, I just want one season where we just get a sniff. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's all I ask. I don't even ask for winning all the time. Just give us something, because we give everything to the club. We pay our money, especially people like Rich. Like, I'm not blowing smoke up his ass. Kieran Bleasley, I know people aren't a fan of him, but he goes up and down the country every single week. He was at Crewe for a dead rubber the other week. For what? So for a 1-1 draw? Do you know what I mean? And it's just, I know you haven't got a God-given right to just win every game, but people are going to work, getting up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work during the week. So what's shite, man? And I'm hearing McKenna. I don't blame any individual, because they've got to say what they've got to say. But he said, this won't be accepted. That's cool, Kieran. But I've heard this for 24 years of going. I remember when Marcus Evans gave one season Operation Promotion. I mean, you're fucking kidding yourself, man. Like, you open yourself up for grief, didn't you? Just stuff like that. I know they've got to say certain stuff. I get it. But I'm just bored of hearing it, and I need to see it on the pitch. That's all.
I've got one thing to say before Hawks leaves. At least we got Paul Cook in charge.
Oh, fucking hell, man. The stuff I'm hearing.
Fucking hell. That is a car crash.
It's all right. He'll be in Spain tomorrow.
He'll be in Villarreal on Tuesday night.
He'll be in Villarreal Tuesday. I'll get slapped by Stockport.
Hawks, people are absolutely loving what you're saying at home. Love this guy, says Milk Tray. Preach.
Top man.
Chris, we're 5 wins short of the playoffs, 9 short of automatic. We can't have any goal drafts. We're going to bridge that gap. So reliability is a key requirement for anyone coming in. Your best ability is availability, Hawks.
Bang.
Yes, mate. Yes.
Good man. Nice to have you back on the platform. We love you.
Amen. All right,
Look
mate.
after yourself. All right.
Sweet. Cheers, lads.
Good lad. Look at that. I mean, I can hear the fisherman sort of exploding from here, Rich.
I've been talking to Jordan all morning with some messages and that, and I fucking knew that he was going to go off on one. That was brilliant.
Very good.
You don't get that on any other platform, They're a bit beige, some of them. But on here, we tell it as it is, Martin. We can't beat around the bush. We can't be happy. And
I'm not quite sure that anybody can disagree with what he said, basically. Because the facts are, as much as Jordan has researched them, 11, 9, 6, 2. It's not goals. He's been okay, but he's not played enough games to say whether he can do it over an extended period.
If he'd played enough games, he probably wouldn't be leaving the football club, Martin. We can all say if he'd have done this, if he'd have done that, but he didn't. If buts and maybes. We live in the world of facts, don't we?
To be fair, if Cook had stayed, Hawks, we would have had those limbs, as we would have stayed up and safe. Too many fans happy being average, says Jordan. Because I did see Jordan did tweet about how he was shocked at Town fans being so pleased with 11th place finish. Refreshing is the word he's seeing.
The fisherman wants to come on.
I've linked him already. I've linked him already. He's just got to press that button.
Is he down the lake?
I don't know where he is, but I could hear him exploding in my headphones from wherever the hell he was. Literally.
Martin told me earlier, everybody, that he said we're going to do half an hour. We're already at 55 minutes. There is no way on earth that we can ever do a show with
Not
30
about
minutes.
James Norwood. I mean, that's
not
is it? You know, for I've often been retweeted my famous at last the end of the banter era. Every time we get stuff that comes out from certain Twitter accounts, is James Norwood leaving sort of the official closing of that chapter of the banter era?
You would Caden Jackson's still here,
but he hasn't got half the bad rap off the field banter.
No. I do agree there about being professional and standards and culture, as Mark Ashton said, and nobody knows what happened. Sort of, he was banished, wasn't he, James Norwood? Banished, Martin, until McKenna come in.
I would love to sit down with James though, just to have an exit interview, as Callie called it. Because there are some questions I would love to put to Mr. Norwood.
He's always available. Welcome to come on here. You know, he's come on here and battered me once. I'm sure he'd come on here and he'd batter me again.
Probably go to a lesser platform. Fisherman, I hear you're exploding.
No, I'm not exploding. Fucking hell, Hawks talk some shit sometimes.
Oh, come on, that was brilliant.
No, not having that. The way he's fucking hammered Norwood, right? I get that Norwood's been injured. I get that. Well, you can't blame him for 11th place. Fucking hell,
He's not blaming him.
You got other fucking players on the pitch you can't supply.
Mike, I don't think I ever heard the words come out of his mouth that it's James Norwood's fault. We just went.
Oh, come on. He was pretty much putting the blame on him.
Yeah, but he's going on the 3 years that we've had him. And when he came in, he come with that fanfare. And he's got 11 goals as his highest. 11 goals.
You said yesterday, Mike.
Yeah, but hang on. We talk about what? Hang on, Martin. You turn around and said you don't want a striker to score 11 goals, 20 goals. You want one that can score 11 goals. We've fucking done that.
No, he said 8. He said third choice striker. If Piggott gets 8 goals,
no, not having that. Not having that.
As your third choice.
No. You'd also. No, not having that. Watch your back.
That is what he said.
That's what I said. I said I want a striker that's going to score 8 goals from a third choice. That's a good return. If you tell me James Norwood's my third striker next year, 11 goals a return, that isn't too bad. But you're telling me James Norwood
I ain't telling you nothing. I'm not telling you nothing.
Yesterday you did.
No, I said Norwood is Norwood. A fit Norwood is that's the word there, isn't it? A fit Norwood.
Yeah, but it's a big word, isn't it?
We never see
He's not been fit. He's not been fit. That's the bottom line. And
he was injured though. Right, listen. Going back to when he was here under Lambert, he was injured. Yeah, and I know he done it for charity, but he was doing a wrestling show. This is what I'm saying about standards and culture and being professional.
That player puts more effort on that pitch than some of them other players on that pitch. I'm telling you. That's why he's got a nickname of Shithouse. Right, and people go on about. I was talking to right. This is what look. If we had 100% fit Norwood all season, right, he'd have banged in 20 goals. No two ways about it. Reality, we don't. Hang on a minute. Listen. Hang on a minute. You were slating Burns at the start of the season.
Now you
can't take your tongue out of his ass. I mean, come on, I
don't think I ever slated him, Mike. I don't think I ever slated anybody other than him.
You have bollocks. You've done this. Look, we've all done it, right? Look, for like.
I don't think I ever hammered him. I don't think I ever hammered Wes Burns.
You
honestly,
bloody did. Come on, you did.
You need to watch back your shows, mate.
I have, mate. Oh, trust me, I have. Right, and
find me the clip and send it to me.
I will. Don't worry. I'll clip them up for you. So you can feel a bit humiliated. But no, seriously. On a serious note, lad. Look,
you're the man who puts his foot in his mouth regular. 2 games ago, you were telling me that Connor Chaplin get in the bin, and now you've suddenly done a 360 and he's staying.
Yeah, I'm allowed to do that.
Well, there you go.
Mike. I'm not here. I'm not sat here, turn around saying I never slated Burns because you did. You cheeky fucker.
Mike, yesterday on Facebook, you said James Norwood's our best striker.
On Facebook, just James Norwood, 100%. Yeah, but I always said this: 100% fit. James Norwood was our best striker. Right now, he's not our player. And I did say on Twitter the other week, I'd been all for. I did say that.
You're living off a big word. If
it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if it's not about if it's about 100%. fit.
If me granddad
Norwood is our
wills,
best
should be a
striker.
bloody BMX man.
You can put that comment out from
One
Josh.
goal. He scored one goal every other game. Name me another one in that league.
There you go. There's
Josh,
a comment
the
here
other
from Josh. Can you
day-
see that? Can you see
The
that on
other
screen,
day,
Mike?
he's saying we should sign Twine, who's literally Premier League quality, and now he's moaning, saying Norwood, a 31-year-old, is
I'm not
leaving.
moaning at Norwood's leaving. People see that's the trouble. You see, people jump on the bandwagon and whatever. Right. At the end of the day is why can't
I
we?
do love you.
I was talking to the fans at the game yesterday, and I was saying, you know, people on this platform and other platforms saying we ain't got a we ain't big enough to sign Scott Twine. Why aren't we?
There are no other platforms, Mike.
All right.
Get out of your mind for a start. Mike,
Okay,
what is your son's name?
Jake.
Jake. Wise man, that boy. He would sign with Cooley Bon. He's better than James Norwood.
Really?
I've said it.
Okay. So he played 80 minutes yesterday, didn't score, and James came on, banged one in. Yeah, okay.
Fuck me. Keepers at a howler.
Better than James Norwood. Look, James Norwood's gone. Am I unhappy he's gone? No, I'm not. I think, you know, he's been. We could all talk about off the field antics. We can talk. There's many players that have played top level that have had off the field antics. Okay, and they've been brilliant players on the pitch. Norwood's had his time at the club. He's always put 100% effort, and that's all I ever ask.
You're talking about players who've got a lot more ability than James Norwood.
Do you know what? I think you're being disrespectful, lads. I totally think you're being disrespectful because, quite frankly, that boy puts 100% effort every time he plays on the pitch. Tell me he doesn't.
I never said he didn't.
Right then. So how many times? How many times have we said we want our players to put 110% on that pitch? And some players don't. Selena. And people want to sign him.
You can't question it.
Oh, shut up, Selena! I wouldn't have him. I wouldn't have him next season.
You can't question effort. You can't question effort because that's one thing you can't quantify with a stat. That's one thing you can't. Effort.
What can't I?
You can't because you can't put it into a stat category where you can say, "Oh, look, this week."
Oh, here we go. Stats.
No. But how do you know?
Average a goal every other game.
I would never question a player's effort. Skill and effort are completely different. I would never question anybody from Bursant to Sonny to JD to Christian Walton to Bart when he was here to anybody's effort.
In 11th, hell, I can question effort because
you can question their skill.
Haven't put in enough. How many times have we left the ground watched like I have a lot of the time watched iFollow like you have, Martin. Watched a lot of iFollow. You know, the reality is, or listen to the game in your case. You know, how many times have we been left in? Oh, for fuck's sake, really? We haven't put in.
I hear what you're saying, but the problem is, according to Wikipedia, Macaulay Bonne has played 43 games for Town. That is nearly as many as James Norwood managed to do in 3 years. That's why I say Macaulay Bonne's a better striker, because your best ability is availability. Okay, if you've got Messi on a treatment table for 3 years, it don't matter if you've got Messi, does it?
No, of course, yeah. I get that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if we're talking...
So what tells you, or what makes you believe, or anybody believe, that James Norwood is going to go to any other football team and not sit on their treatment table?
He may well do.
So we're not going to.
He may well do, and I'm not saying that. All I'm saying to you is, when Norwood is fit, when Norwood has been fit, he's been one of our best strikers at the clubs. One of our best strikers. As simple as. Now, I'm not saying, and I take issue when people disrespect players that have put 100% effort in. When I've sat there and watched players,
you're disrespecting people like Selena, telling me that he's not putting 100% effort in.
He's not.
How do you know that? You cannot say that.
Well, okay. Visually, it looks like he hasn't. He's not performed to that. Honestly, I do question some fans when it comes to people like Selena and that. And they got this blue tinted glass. He had one good season, and suddenly he's a world beater.
Yeah, but like I said 2 games ago, you were calling Connor Chaplin, and you said more than once.
Chaplin changed my mind.
Mike. That's more than once. Is that not disrespectful? Is that not disrespectful? Calling someone a headless chicken?
I was on the fence with Selena.
You got splinters in your ass.
Yeah, better splint and tongue up it.
Come on, fellas. Easy now. Easy.
Anyway, look, let's go. Look, I've had my say on Norwood. Am I sad to see him go? No, because I think he's had his time. He's 32. We to get out of this league, we need better right now.
Yeah.
As for the game yesterday, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It had an end of season feel. We won. Am I pissed off about where we are at the season? Yeah. But I don't just blame one player. I blame a collective of players. And there's only probably four or five players that stood out this year that probably come off that pitch and can say, I look at and think, I can say, do you know what? They'll be here next season and they deserve to be here next season. Wolfie under McKenna has been a revelation. If I had to choose between Edmondson and Wolfie, I'd put Wolfie. What?
I've got something to tell Martin when we finish the show. Big news.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Danassian's been a revelation.
I said on Friday, Mike. I said on Friday, so you might disagree with me. I think we only need about 3 players for the starting 11. 3, maybe 4.
4, yes. 100%
Okay.
4.
All right, we're gonna. That's an hour and 6 minutes.
I don't think we need a massive overhaul. We've got a spine of a team now, which we didn't have.
Really? Spine of the team that finished 11th.
And you're arguing with me about keeping a 31-year-old.
I never said that. You're putting.
Would you keep James Norwood?
Hang on, Martin. You're the one that sit there and said, "Oh, I didn't rate Burley." How can you sit there and tell me about football when you're saying that I didn't rate Burley as a manager? I mean,
he did
come on.
Hang on, pull out the poster, Martin. You know he did rate this man. Come on.
You rated Lambert. You rated Lambert, and yet you stood on this. You sat on this show saying I didn't rate Burley.
No.
You did, and I'm telling you now.
I will. In his defence, I will just say that Martin has it was the relegation season that how we went down.
Twice.
But that was down. A lot of that was down.
The first time, I don't blame him for that.
The first time I think we went down without a fight. Second time we went down without a fight, and it took him 6 attempts to get us back.
For God's sake.
Mike Brown, if this was now, if we were in 1998 now, and social media and this platform was available, you would be the first person on my match day shows clicking the link to tell me George Burley cannot get us over the hump. George Burley's got to go. You'd be the first.
Burley gave a lot of fans, right, in their 40s some great times, right? I mean, you talk about that
what
feeling.
You're
How many
talking
times?
about...
Listen, we made the playoffs 5 times and we were unlucky not to get promoted. Okay, it was literally fine margins, literally fine margins. We had a Bolton who's always been our bogey side, right? And you can't. No, I'm not having that at all.
I agree with Mike. I agree. Football's changed from back in the 90s. Look, I'm not saying there wasn't the pressure then, Mike, but every season under Burley, we had to sell a player. You had to sell a good player, had to go. But we were always improving. And I always remember David Sheepshank, Martin, saying he had a 5-year plan. And there was always a plan. And we might miss out one season, but then we go again. And look, I agree with Mike. The football under Burley was brilliant.
I agree as well.
At the end, but then everything at the end. Look, it can only last for so long. We can all go back about they made a mistake building 2 stands. Look, that's in the past. Tonight, anyway, talking of in the past, Mike, make sure you tune in tonight. Romeo's on the van and Craig Forrest.
I will be watching.
Mike, we love you.
Good ears.
We love you. Look after yourself. We do. We love you very dearly. But people do look at Burley through the telescope of we've done absolutely nothing since. If the football club hadn't been a joke since the year we got relegated, he would be something to remember, but not held.
Yeah, it was all administration hit us hard. Yeah. We were lucky. We were lucky first team to go into administration, Martin. In other years, you'd have had a points deduction then.
I think George Burley is a great guy, good manager. We just kept him too long.
Yeah, I just think they should have stayed up that season. We had that terrible start, and then we won 7 out of 8 games, and we went up to 12th place. Yeah, we were looking good in 12th. Got walloped by Liverpool. We'll talk about Chris Marston again because we normally talk about him on there, like going prime Messi, dribbling across there was games like that, and
Blackburn,
and then,
Leeds away where Marshall was caught an air divot. Literally, I don't know what he's catching.
Oh, Robbie Fowler.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But you know, it is what it is. Anyway, we're done for today. Well over the time limit I thought we'd give ourselves.
Look at that.
We're back.
Dead rubber.
We're back in 2022 tomorrow night. Me and the Phillips will try and stick to half an hour. I'm sure Phillips can only go half an hour. But we're back tonight, more importantly, with Talking Cricket, Ben Stokes. Rich, who are you on with tonight? Who am I pressing the button for?
Tonight, me, Ian, and Brandon. Maybe Rob. I'm not sure about Rob. Might be dropping in. He's going to let me know. But there'll be at least 3 of us. We'll talk about Ben Stokes, Rob Key, obviously new director of cricket. If anyone's in the chat now, wants to get involved, please do. Do come and get in the chat. I know Colin will be on, but the cricket show's a lot more. It's a lot more calmer, Martin. There'll be no shouting and raised voices
because the passion's not there. And our special tonight. Tell the world about what our actual special is and when they can catch it.
Yeah, 9 p.m. tonight. So it is 30 years to the day tomorrow, Martin, when they lifted the championship against Brighton at Portman Road. Great day. I remember being there. You know, my favourite season. I think it's Matt's favourite season. The last time a trophy was lifted at Portman Road. So we've got Craig Forrest, and I'm going to put a picture on Twitter very soon of me in 1988, very young. I've grown into my teeth. With Romeo's on the van. Look, Romeo's on the van, Craig Forrest, growing up, 2 of my real heroes, you know, and it'll be great to sit down tonight, go through the 91, 92. I think Martin's got some footage from some of the games. So hopefully everyone will come and join in the chat, you know, drop your questions in. And I'm looking forward to it, Martin. It should be a really, really good show. We've done 2 hours, didn't we, last time we had Craig Forrest on here? And he's a really great guy. So looking forward to chatting to him and looking forward to chatting to Romeo. So tell all your friends.
Absolutely.
9 o'clock tonight. It's bank holiday as well, so you can get a beer in.
Yeah, you can. Absolutely no excuse. We've got that lined up. Then tomorrow we're live with the F1 show. We're live with me and Matt. I want to end though, Crunch, by showing you footage of what has to be the greatest ever way of stewing.
Someone said this was, where was this at?
Millwall.
Someone said that is like Norwich City's back 4.
The guy just strolls through.
There you go. Well, there you go.
I mean, have you unbelievable stewarding as
that was nearly as bad as the guy. I don't know if it's at Spurs that time. You remember when he's patting them down, going through the turnstiles, the old boy. It's just like next.
There we go.
Next.
What a way. What a way. Right. See you all tonight, my friends, with love, with care.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning.